Congratulations on your induction into the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, man.
What was it like playing ball in the 50s compared to today, because you're a coach now?
It was terrific. In fact, I often thought about it, and of course, those were the Sandlot days.
Yes.
And of course, as it turned out, I was 12 years old in May of '49, and Little League came to Bristol 2 or 3 months after that.
And
of course, to be followed by midget football and AAU soccer, et cetera, et cetera. So we played pretty much in the Sandlots, and very enjoyable.
Okay. This led to you being captain of both basketball and baseball teams at John J. Jennings.
That's correct, yeah.
And I got a question too. Your brother is also an outstanding athlete.
Yes, he is.
Bill, 3 sports athlete at Bristol. Bristol Eastern, class of '62. Who was the better athlete?
Oh, Bill.
Bill?
Okay. Yeah. He was by far the better ball player.
Okay. I've been told that he may have been a little bit better, but you had the heart and soul.
Well,
so a little compliment to you.
Well, thank you very much. Whoever said that, I'll accept that.
Okay. So you went on from Jennings, and you went on to play 3 sports at Bristol High, and the new sport was football.
That's correct.
Yes. What was your favorite sport?
Baseball.
Baseball.
So I really enjoyed football, but baseball had to be my favorite as far as time went on. I stayed with it.
Yeah, you stayed with it through
through the Army,
through
really.
The Army, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that. Okay, so letter winner at Bristol High. Then you went on to college. And this is where I have a question, and I find it very interesting.
Okay.
You played freshman soccer at UConn.
Right. That's correct, yeah.
In Storrs, and you had never played before.
That's correct.
So that's quite an accomplishment.
Well, it was enjoyable. When I went up to UConn, I was studying engineering. I'd carried 18 credits, and decided that I wanted to do soccer. Went out there, and it was the number of boys that were playing soccer really was quite limited with respect to compared to football. So I went out and I played soccer, and I really enjoyed it.
Yep, good. Question 2: you played 2 years of sports at UConn Storrs, then the Hartford branch.
That's correct, yeah.
And what was the difference and why?
Well, it was different because it was more competitive when I was at the branch, but again, the studies, I had to kind of bear down a little bit on the books, and it was quite competitive, and I enjoyed it, and we played at a different scale at the branch level than we did at
Storrs?
No, at the branch
Okay.
than we did at Storrs.
Okay, all right. So you graduated?
I graduated, obviously, in '59, and when I went back up to Storrs, I might add that I played baseball again when I went up to Storrs, but graduated in '59.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you went into the Army?
Yes.
Okay.
Got a commission when I got out of the service, and went into the Army after 1 year. Yeah.
Okay. I know you played sports for the Army.
Correct.
I don't know what your MOS but was it sports or?
It was not sports.
Oh, you did. Okay.
No.
So you had other things to do.
It was not sports. Yeah. Initially I went in and they put me on a football field right away. I was in MOS was 1203, which was basically a platoon leader, but they had different ideas at that time. So I started out playing football immediately, and then when the seasons rolled around, I was switched over to baseball.
Okay. Now, one of the teams, you won a European championship, and what was that?
That's correct, in baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah, and in '61, we won the European championship in baseball.
What position did you play?
I was a catcher.
Catcher? Okay. So through the years, baseball was your favorite. What positions have you played?
Well, played third base through high school, and then I switched over to catching after that. So mostly catching, as it turned out.
Oh, okay. You returned to Bristol. You played 20 years of slow pitch softball.
Correct.
And also basketball in the senior league.
Correct.
Who'd you play with in softball?
Mostly with the sportsmen.
Okay.
Sportsmen. The league was a little more stable than it is now. There's a lot of different teams in there now,
Yeah.
but so I played pretty much all the time with the sportsmen.
Okay. Now, senior league basketball, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember as a couple of years younger, reading the paper, and all these superstars from the guys that were my heroes were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Who were some of these guys?
Well, it was very, very competitive, and we played with people like Whitey Dzinski, Red Kowalczyk. My brother played, as a matter of fact, and over the years the Whitehead boys played, and I just could go on and on and on. It was very, very competitive and very good sports.
Good. Regarding before we go there, you're a golf coach at Bristol Central.
Correct. Yeah.
Since 2006?
2005. Yeah.
2005, and you've had successful teams.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to be a coach?
It's quite satisfying, really. I've been really lucky in the 9 years that I've been there. I've had all good kids. I really had good kids. Maybe one exception, but for the most part, all good kids. Some of them have gone on and played more later on after that, but they were very academically oriented. But enjoyed having them all. They were all very good. Had some girls. I had two girls. One year I had two girls co-captain.
Okay.
And they've been on the team for 4 years, and they were quite reliable. They're very good.
Okay. This is a tough question. As coach at Central, I'm sure you could play against some of your kids. Mm-hmm. What percentage of the kids would you beat or not beat? That's a tough one.
It is. Well, it's a tough question. It is. Some of the kids are really, really good players. And as time has gone on, as I've gotten older, as they've gotten younger and better, they become very, very competitive. Yeah. And every once in a while, I'd see a kid go by me and off the tee, and I'd start to kind of scratch my head a little bit. But for the most part, very, very competitive. I think I could compete with them, but there were some good players.
Yeah. Is there any one sport, going back to your brother, that you think you may have been better at?
Football, probably.
Okay, because I know he played soccer in high school.
He played soccer, yeah.
So, in all your sports career, what were your best days, your best times? At what level? High school, college, military?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I think when you look back at different things, for example, Ubony Plumbers, which was a semi-pro league, which was a very, very competitive league. And I look back at our championship game, and that was a very competitive game, very satisfying type game. In the championship game, that I hit a couple of home runs and knocked in 5 runs, and that when I look back on it, is got to be probably my favorite baseball time.
Your career highlight.
Yeah, career high.
Okay.
And when we played in the league down at the boys' club, with the competitiveness of some of the players there, when you did have a good game and you played against some pretty good players, it was very satisfying to have competed with them.
Okay. My last question is, how does it feel to be inducted into the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame? It's the highest honor the city of Bristol, the organizations in Bristol can give an individual.
Well, it's very satisfying. It's very, for me, I'm thrilled to be a part of the same situation as Coach Tom Monahan, Eddie McHugh, Teddy Brennan, people like that. That to be even compared to those people is very, very satisfying. I'm happy to be a part of being Jimmy Tracy and Al Benisic, George Redmond, Jimmy Bates, Rick Kowalczyk, Whitey Dzinski, all of whom I played with or competitive with. And it's a very satisfying experience.
I'll close one more time. I think your era was special to me because I was in the 60s, and you guys were my heroes, including yourself. Mm-hmm. So I want to welcome you you're already inducted, and I'm so glad you're in.
Well,
Okay?
thank you. I
And
appreciate
Thank
that.
you very much, and congratulations.
Okay, thank you.